Hello, guys. First of all, I'm here to talk about HPPD, hallucinogenic persisting perception disorder. Uh, a lot of people might have this and not see it all until they have anxiety moments or they do another drug like weed. Or even anxiety or weed can trigger the real symptoms. Um, but I'm not here to talk about the, you know, technical aspects of HPPD. I'm actually here to talk about the mindset and the mental aspects of HPPD that might be making people not recover properly. Uh, so before I start getting into the content of this video, I want to make you conscious that my English is not native, and I hope it's good enough to have impact, and so you guys understand what I'm trying to get, where I'm coming from, and where I want to go with my ideas. So let's get to it, right? First of all, I'm in a very long journey with HPPD already. I've had very tough moments and very good moments where HPPD had little to no impact in my life. And to be simple, I'm grateful for everything, right? So I'm grateful for the tough moments where I thought I was fucked, and I'm grateful for the good moments where everything was cleared up and I had mental clarity enough to treat myself properly, right? So let's get to the first idea I want to discuss in this video. Okay, why do some people get smarter with psychedelic use, and why do some people get almost permanently or for a long time mentally fucked? Right? Anxiety, depression, brain fog, everything else. Think about this. Serotonin is related to lots of ways you see the world, see yourself, and see life, right? So psychedelics are mostly serotonic. Oh, sorry, I forgot the word. They are serotonin drugs, right? They affect serotonin receptors, and serotonin covers almost all your brain. So your visual cortex also has lots of serotonin. Your hippocampus has lots of serotonin. Sorry, I'm in the nature and there's like lots of insects here. So think about this. The only trips that gave me HPPD were trips I had those weird silent moments in which my good trips where I didn't get any damage. I was actually mentally active all the time. I was thinking, I was seeing the world, I was traveling through deep thoughts, discovering my existence in all its layers, right? So think about this. The same brain cell that it's used for your psychedelic experience, it's the same brain cell that it's used for you to see the world, right? So we are talking about the brain cell that helps you understand and calculate reality, your own being, your world. So people who are depressive often have problems with seeing the world in a positive way, right? While some people on psychedelics get to experience both sides, they get to see the world as in a different perspective, or see the world as totally fine, you know. So That's why some people cure their depression with psychedelics. Some people actually get depression, and I'm conscious that some people get HPPD through um, like an experience that it's not really related to their psychedelic trip. They get like HPPD symptoms like weeks later of their psychedelic experience. But I'm not here to discuss this technical information about HPPD. I'm here actually to get to the point of discussing uh, your mental your mental health and how it will impact in your HPPD, and how to recover kind of the mental side of HPPD that will actually make you recover from visuals eventually, right? So let's get back to the idea that the same brain cell used to trip or to have HPPD is the same brain cell you would use to have a bigger perspective about the world. So people be saying, I have brain fog and I have HPPD. What I've realized in my personal journey with HPPD is that once I started having ideas and verbalizing and being rational, my visuals would go away like 50%. And after I started engaging in normal activities of my life, because I work with music, if you want to check out my songs, I'm gonna put the link in the description. But I'm not here to talk about that. Actually, I'm talking about the creative side, right? Because with HPPD, we often get lost because you feel the world in a different way. And you see visuals, and the visuals take part of your thoughts as well. That's why I say, like, the idea that I'm trying to get is, if you want to recover from brain fog and visuals, you need to engage into life again until you get to wipe those thoughts out of your mind, right? So just like I kind of recovered partially from my HPPD by measuring how my brain health was by smoking weed. Of course, that doesn't sound very smart, but actually it did help, because once I was getting a good high, a normal high, where I was feeling good and having good thoughts, the next morning I was a little better from HPPD. And once I got sober, totally sober, like THC cleaning from my blood again, the visuals were down, right? So you need to start adaptating actually, and start to put those brain cells in the right place again. And that it's manual. It's not something automatic, you know? So I've thought about taking mushrooms to try curing the HPPD, but that is simply sometimes dumb, okay? It could work because technically it would mess around with those brain cells, and if the trip were good enough to clean those brain cells and kind of reset the place they are located and how are the function of the cells, and bring the cells back to their normal function, in the next day you would have better thoughts, non-visuals probably, and that is totally correlated to how you see reality and how you're using your intelligence. So getting back to the idea, people be often saying that HPPD is a form of PTSD or anxiety. Actually, let's see it from another perspective, okay? All these brain functions of the thought and of seeing reality are related to PTSD and are related to anxiety, depression, and how intelligent you are being, right? So we often get to lose the good thoughts to transferring these functions of the brain cells to the visual side or to the anxious side. And the same brain cell who would be seeing the world differently and making you see the world in a better way, it's the same brain cell that is not functioning that way, and it's the brain cell who will make you anxious and make you see the world different, the way you know it shouldn't be. And you knowing that it shouldn't be that way actually sometimes is what triggers anxiety. I've been there, okay? Before we continue, if you are here from Reddit, if you're gonna be negative in the comments or anything else, man, just go back to Reddit, right? Because there people will probably accept your negative behavior and probably even act like you. But here, I'm not here to be negative. I'm not here to be discussing low tops, you know. I'm not here to be spreading negativity. I'm here actually to try helping people. So if you're not here with the same intention, just go away, man. You know, nobody needs you here. You know, people who is trying to recover are here. People who's trying to get along with their lives are here. You know, so please don't be negative. You know, so let's continue. We are letting our reality stay in the same perspective that it got. So it's a manual job to get along with life, put your thoughts somewhere else, and start changing your reality again. You know, just like psychedelics can often be reasons of trauma, right? Because it's such an intense experience, and I've been on both sides of the experience. Just like my first trips were so intellectual, so symbolic, so much thoughts, kind of making a shift of my perspective about reality, but I was controlling it. And in my bad trip, I had no control over anything. I was totally vulnerable. I was having a tachycardia, you know, that boom, boom, boom in the heart. I was having like totally dumb visuals. Like my vision got blurry. Everything was fucked. And actually, my bad trip didn't cause my HPPD. What actually caused my HPPD were attempts of fixing my trauma by taking LSD again. And I was a weed addict, and I was smoking weed again and again. And suddenly, I started having bad experiences with weed, where I didn't felt myself. And those were the experiences that made my HPPG worse. And good weed highs actually made my HPPG better, just like I said. But it got to the point where I couldn't be trapped in that fake idea that I could, you know, help myself by smoking weed, because it actually doesn't help shit. You know, it actually will make you worse at some point, or even make you trapped into some point of the HPPG journey. So what I'm trying to say here to end this video is that you need to allocate, you need to change those little brain cells that are creating thoughts and creating your reality inside your brain to a different perspective. But that you need to do manually now. You can't depend on a drug to have you in this altered mind state and change your reality, because that's what psychedelics and all other drugs do. You need to do that manually. So people are often trying to get relief from anxiety, trying to get relief from stuff, when they actually need to face that kind of and change that themselves. So just like meditation cured my anxiety and depression not only once in my life. Before HPPG, I was already meditating, and that is what saved my ass when I had the bad trip. That intelligence I got with meditation was also what saved my ass from all other fucked experiences I got in my life later. And meditation is where I came back to when I was fucked in my brain. And meditation is actually what been helping me in an awesome way, but I actually can't be meditating all the time. So there are, you know, hundreds of aspects of life for you to explore and build a new brain pathway using it. So if you get to fix your anxiety by thinking, by trying to see the world different and actually concretizing that pathway inside your brain, you will get rid of brain fog, anxiety, depression, and a lot of visuals that actually are there because of some sort of PTSD, right? So, of course, sometimes, just like I said, we are giving space that would be filled with thoughts or a sense of reality to visuals, you know? Ants are biting me, I'm fucked. We are given space that would be used by thoughts to visuals. That is the trip, that is the psychedelic visuals, and it is also what will impact you in all aspects of life, right? So it's simply as the light, right? If you are seeing something that way, it is that way for you. But a lot of people be in the same situation as you are, and they be feeling different. Just like a lot of people had the same visuals as you in your psychedelic experience, and they didn't get anxiety, and that didn't impact their brains. That wasn't a reason of trauma. That's why they didn't get HPPD. But if you really gave space of good thoughts and a good reality grip, a good reality sense to that, and that covered the rest of your mental capability, you got HPPD. You know, that's where I want to get. You know, just like what I've realized, what has been clarified to me a long time sober, is that actually psychedelics show you that you have all brain capacity you need inside your brain, but you need to allocate that, you know. That's why I said some people get smarter with psychedelics and some people get trauma or give space that would be used for that intelligence to the visuals or to the anxiety or to the depression or PTSD. So just like why I said I measured my brain health by seeing if I could get a good weed high. Because the weed is gonna interact with my existent thoughts. The weed is gonna try to use my existent brain pathways and how I am to activate that in a different way. So when I used to smoke weed, I would feel like I was ready for anything. I was active in my brain as I really was, other than having to manually do that. That's why I was addicted to weed. It activated my brain in that way that I knew I could be, but without activating that with a drug, I would feel like a little lost, because you need to manually get to those points, you know? Even if that already exists in your brain, drugs activate that in a different way. So to end this video with a golden key, I'm gonna give you guys an example that is happening right now to me with HPPD, right? I got here into this place and I was like, what I'm gonna say in this video? And I, like usual, look it to the ground to see how my HPPG was today. And I was seeing some distortions. And as I started to verbalize and create the ideas, my HPPG more than cleared up, man. I'm seeing stuff way better, way more normal, because I used my knowledge and I've used the brain cells in the right way, creating rational thoughts. When I write songs, I feel better from HPPG as well, because I'm using my brain cells in a way they were meant to be used, not to give them to a visual aspect of reality. And that's why I say it's the same freaking brain cells you could be using for intelligence, but you are giving them away to visuals and to how you seeing the world at some point. And you need to break those patterns. People who have HPPD with patterns will know what I'm talking about. You look at the ground and the ground looks some weird way, looks cartoony, sometimes looks like it has a weird aspect. It's gonna form images again, when it actually mostly won't form full-blown visuals. But those brain cells are stagnated, they are trapped there in that place. And what I've noticed yesterday was like, I am myself as a person trapped into patterns in my life, in patterns of thoughts, in patterns of actions. And what HPPG actually was trying to show me, and that I wouldn't never be able to see if I didn't get HPPD, was that I need to break these patterns of behavior and actually use my brain different. My soul doesn't changes, my desires and intentions doesn't change, but the way my brain sees the world and as I act changes. So I want to feel good and go write a dope lyric, a dope song. My usual pathway was, let's smoke weed, let's get high, and it will come naturally. But those brain cells that would act naturally because that were who I was and how my brain was are not the same. I changed it as a person and I have HPPD now. So it's not gonna be the same, never, unless I change myself, go to another place inside my own freaking brain, and then once I start writing lyrics while sober, once I start feeling good while sober, once I start having less visuals while sober, and I get able to be that way manually, then things will change. Not only HPPG wise, the weed high you get will be changed, You as a person will be changed. Your sense of reality will be changed, Even if there is some other aspects of HPPD that I know aren't so easy to get rid of, the visuals especially, like that feeling, oh, the world is like this now, it will eventually be broken down. And if you do this, as I'm trying to elaborate the idea here in this video, you will get rid of HPPD sooner. But you need to get along with life. You need to get along inside yourself. So why some people say they were cured by a PTSD manual, because the same way you feel inside your own brain is some sort of way you feel with HPPD, and it's some sort of thoughts that will feed that, you can call it brain damage or brain state or anything else. It will impact on that because it's the same brain cells, right? So just like I gave an example to you guys that, it's happening right now. As I started elaborating these ideas, my HPPG got so much better, man. And I'm nearby some triggers, very strong triggers. This kind of wall right there, man, if I weren't having this conversation with you guys right now, I would be totally feeling like these freaking walls would start morphing again. And they are not, because I'm using my own brain in a different way, I'm using myself in a different way. And the same brain cells that would cause that anxiety, the same brain cells that would cause visuals, they are being used to another function that they were initially meant for. And that's the way I'm using to recover from HPPD manually, And I'm not gonna lie, I've smoked weed, I've drank alcohol, I've done benzos and some intracellular vitamins that all of this helped. All of this helped because I was able to experience myself in a different way and actually be like, whoa, so I could be different if I were really different, not the drug making me different. So you gotta realize stuff in a different perspective, right? You can't accept like, oh, I'm damaged to the rest of my life. Just like my HPPG didn't came from one trip. Actually came from several LSD, cannabis use, and anxiety, right? And it was totally psychedelic HPPD. It wasn't like only static. I had static before HPPD. It is actually a sense that things will get fucked suddenly. That I'm gonna look at that wall and the wall is gonna start showing me red, pink, green colors when it's actually not gonna do that. It's the way I feel that wall in my reality sense that will make me see and feel that wall different. That's what psychedelics show you, right? Your reality is totally created in your brain. Not only your brain, but on how you are as a being. Okay? So don't be trapped into a thought pattern. Don't be trapped into making this so concrete inside yourself that you don't help yourself. Okay? So this is the message of this video. Okay? We are, with HPPD, given space that were meant for thoughts and a reality sense to the psychedelic reality, to the weird and fucked stuff that were not meant to be like that. Okay? So just as some people get these symptoms from bad trips because they were traumatized, and some people get this weeks after their trips for some crazy reason just because they found that place inside. We all have the same work to do in the end, okay? We all need to start using our brains differently, right? And people are gonna be saying, oh, it's easier to say than get done. Bitch, I've been getting it done, right? I've been getting it done while on this video, right? Before doing this video, I was like, whoa, what I'm gonna freaking say? And that thought, that silent inside my mind was given space for HPPD to flare up, right? And when I broke this down and started freaking doing the video and getting into the real shit, HPPD started getting at least 50% better, right? To the point I'm freaking seeing that wall normal, right? Normal. What I wouldn't be having if I weren't using my intelligence for something that is not a visual and psychedelic and fucked feeling of reality. I'm seeing my reality in a conceptual, rational, and verbalized knowledge way, right? And that's why I say when I start writing songs and finally use my intelligence and creativity for something that is not zoning out, to give my brain a use that it's simply stupid, I get better. That's why when I've put myself in a position of recording, finally putting in a verbal way this knowledge, and I needed to use this knowledge through my freaking brain, you know, because knowing is a thing and using the knowledge is another whole thing, right? I started getting better as well, and tremendously better, all right? So my greatest advice, be healthy, but also have a healthy mentality, right? I hope this video helped to clarify things for people who are trying to recover from HPPD and are trying to recover from personality changes, anxiety, PTSD, and all this stuff that comes in the package, right? Take lots of sun, meditate, try to use your intelligence for what you know it should be. Even though it seems hard in the start, it will get better every day, okay? It gets better every day. Trust me, it gets better every day, but you need to be getting better every day as well, okay? I only took half an hour of my personal time to record this video because I love my fellow human beings, right? I love my fellow human beings, and I don't like to see people suffering what I'm suffering, or even to suffer more than I ever imagined I could, right? And having the same love for yourself and other people will also help you in all journeys of your life, right? So let's stop acting eccentric. Let's stop acting like we are better than other people, because I'm not recording this video because I think I'm better than anyone. If I thought, I wouldn't be even thinking about telling people about this mentality. I actually believe everybody have this capability. Everybody have the chance of improving inside their own brains, even when we think about this as brain freaking damage, right? So I'm sending you guys lots of positive energy. Look into my eyes. Positive energy. Discover yourself, explore yourself in a rational way, right? That's why meditation is important, okay? And that's why giving your brain what it needs to concretize this better aspect of yourself is important. Take care, guys. Good luck and love you all.